What's going on, YouTube? Excuse me. Tried out a new build, TVT. New to me anyway. I believe it was first introduced by Boxer. It's the double gas fast expand. This is the first time I've actually tried it on ladder, and from what I understand, this is, of course, I'm the red Terran, and my opponent here was like rank 1 or 2 platinum, but you have to keep in mind that the ladders have been locked for about 3 weeks now. So anyway, the build order is, you know, typical 10 supply, 12 racks. The change is at 14. Send out a scout at 14, which I've already done right here. You see I'm at, well, now I'm at 15 supply. And then at 15, as soon as your barracks finishes, get your orbital command as usual, and marine. Now after your marine, build a supply depot, which should be at 17. And then once the supply depot finishes, there's my supply depot. Or as the supply depot is building, go ahead and drop 2 gas. Now I'm not perfect at this build, but I've practiced it enough to where I was comfortable trying it on the ladder. So it's kind of new to me. I'll put a link in the description to the source. It was on Team Liquid that I saw this. I had a heck of a time with TVT, mainly because of the whole tank marauder situation. It seemed to be whoever got their tanks out faster would basically be the guy to win. But anyway, this build helps you get an economic advantage because you're doing a fast expand. Now you're slightly behind on gas because you're not dropping a gas at 13, but you catch back up because you're double mining. So where I've dropped a supply depot and he's building a factory, I should have already dropped my factory actually. This is probably what made my siege tech about 20 seconds late. Yep. So my factory was a little late. It should have been just slightly behind his. Everything will be slightly behind your opponent, but keep in mind you'll have an expansion, so the trade-off is worth it. And you have to take into consideration that he's got, you know, travel time to your base, especially if they want to camp and siege up at your main. Now as soon as you get the factory building and you start to saturate your main, don't forget to never stop making SCVs. Don't let yourself get supply blocked. Build your supply depots on time. The command center can be gotten at, I did factory before command center, but the actual build order says you should get your command center at 21. But instead I got my factory at 21. And my factory was late anyway. Which is fine.
Add-on complete.
Once you have your double orbital commands, you can drop down some meals to help with the mineral income. But as you can see on the production tab, my siege tech is, both of our siege techs are producing at the same time. But if you'll look at his base, he did the typical 1-1-1, no command center, which I don't even think he's aware that I have one. No, he has no idea that I have a command center. He just scans that I have a reactor and a reactor on my barracks and a tech lab on my factory. Now the bunker needs to be built as soon as you have the spare minerals from after starting your factory, and then your command center goes down. The bunker is going to help protect from any push. I'm just going to show my vision here. So you can follow this up however you want. I believe after you drop your command center in your factory, it's pretty much free game from there. You know, just base your build off of what you scout. And when I scanned his base, I saw, you know, obviously he's getting tanks, so I'm going to build tanks and marines. I saw the starport as well, so it's perfectly fine. You know, if you expect banshees, you only need about 3 or 4 marines, or after your starport finishes, just get a backup Viking just to be safe. If you don't scout that your opponent is getting cloak, as you can normally tell by the tech lab, you know, with a little animation. If he's not getting cloak, I wouldn't put down too many turrets, but have one at your main command center just in case, and then one at your expansion, just for detection. Now here's what I didn't expect. So the assault has started at 8 minutes, which is typical. Actually around 7, I believe, is when the siege tech would normally finish. And as you can see, I take refuge in my bunker. Don't be afraid to use repair. Continue producing SCVs, Marines, and tanks. The Marines can take care of the Banshee just fine, as long as there's not too many Banshees, which if he's got siege tech and building tanks, he's not going to build very many Banshees. Not that although I know the ladder has been kind of unpredictable, especially when it's at mid-level play, you know, platinum, low rank diamond, very unorthodox play. But like I said, this is my first time actually doing this build, and I pulled it off successfully, so it is a pretty strong build. Continue making your tanks, siege them up right out of range, and hold off as long as you can, because what you got to keep in mind is he didn't build a command center. He went straight for the usual 1-1-1, whereas I got a free Viking kill right there. Whereas we would be ahead just because we got an expansion. Continue making SCVs and Marines and tanks. And you see I have some set on auto repair, mainly because of the tank fire. The auto repair keep the tanks and bunker alive, and then you don't have to worry too much about the Vikings. I learned from this game that more Marines is more useful than trying to get a bunch of Vikings and outnumber the number of Vikings he has. Mainly because the Vikings can't shoot the Marines, and even if you're going against tanks, if you spread them out properly, you won't have to worry about losing Marines. And Marines are cheap, they're 50 minerals. And you know, here I am continuing to repair, just repair. I did build a Viking. I think I built that Viking for the Banshees. I expected more to try to come in, but it didn't happen. So we'll check out the income, and I'm ahead in SCVs, and I have an expansion. What I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to keep him from massing too many tanks outside my base, because as soon as I have a group of Marines, I'm going to push out and clean that up to where I can actually be freed, or my front ramp will be freed. Yeah, I'm still getting my level 1 weapons upgrade on my Marines. Looking back at this replay, I would say combat shield probably would have been more useful at first, because of the extra HP. And this is where I'm just going to push out, because he's obviously trying to reinforce more tanks, and I already have the ones that were there in the red. So just grab a crowd of Marines, have your tanks of course in range, walk them out there, spread out, you'll be fine. Don't be afraid to push out, especially if you have a medevac to heal them up. Let's see, SCV production still going on. Let's check out my income. I'm now at 38, and I'm free of the pressure on the front of my base, and there I get supply locked. You never want that to happen. And look, he's just now getting his expansion off the ground. Do a little fast forwarding here. You know, once you're comfortable enough, both your bases are saturated, and you've got some missile turrets for possible air harassment or drops, poke your head out. I mean, I don't see where you'd really lose too much from that, as long as he didn't set up another camp a little further off, and just scouting around. He's trying to catch up by sneaking in expansion. Make sure to scout with a Marine or two just around the map, catch any of those. So now I transition into Marine medevac tank, couple of Vikings, and there are my missile turrets. I think that was just a Marine. Anyway, this was a pretty long game. Main reason why is because in Terran versus Terran, and there's a lot of tanks on the ground, it's very easy to lose your army to walking them into a big pile of tanks, so be extremely careful when stepping around. Let's see what I have. Continue with your upgrades because you got a higher income, especially with gas in the beginning. Spend your gas, as you can see. I was actually. I believe I was waiting on that starport to finish. Yeah. You'll be ahead in upgrades as long as you keep him steady. Like even while he's harassing, or he or she, whatever, while your opponent's harassing, as I was here. Scout, keep scouting the map. Send SCVs wherever they need to go. And I'm building this spare command center because I had so many minerals. I mean, I was swimming in minerals. And I know in the near future I'm going to need those scans. If my Vikings and medevacs get taken out and it becomes tank versus tank, if you have 1,000 minerals, why not drop a command center and an orbital command, just the spare. Because I'm not going to build a ton of Vikings, I'm going to use Ravens as a point defense drone. And I'm also getting the upgrade, the increased energy. That way it won't take so long to get the point defense drone. Now later that will matter a lot, and you'll see why. And I kind of expected this to happen, so. So anyway, I'm being extremely careful because during one of my practice matches versus a Terran player, a friend of mine and Salvix, I threw away my entire army, even though I had my army was almost twice the size of his, and I had more upgrades. Walking in there and trying to force your way through a bed of tanks is never the best option. I really don't know what to recommend in TVT because it's so tank and Viking heavy almost every game. You see, there's the point defense drone, and I was setting up my line of tanks, and again I spot an expansion. Yeah, use the point defense drones at every shot to keep an advantage. The energy will just reach in. And see, he outnumbered me in Vikings, but because I used the point defense drone, I could even it out without wasting as many resources as he is. Yeah, fast forward. So I now have 4 bases, and only 3 of them are mining. I think a good SCV count in Terran versus Terran, whenever you're producing SCVs, is somewhere around 50, maybe 60, I guess. Because you really don't need more than 3 bases mining at once, especially if yeah, point defense drone. But yeah, this is why I built a ton of Marines, because if those were Vikings, yeah, I could try to kite the battle cruisers, but I would also spend I'd need a lot more gas. I have no idea why he walked all those Marines in there.
Mineral field depleted.
Wow. Anyway, I don't think you'd need more than 60 SCVs. That's really almost right at 3 mining bases, because you'll need more supply for Marines and tanks and whatnot. As you can see, I'm scanning like a madman because I have all the orbital commands. Also, you don't need so many SCVs because of mules. If you build the spare orbital commands, as you can see, I'm swimming in minerals again. Just continue dropping mules. You'll be just fine. You want a larger army than your opponent. Income matters a lot in the beginning, but I think once you get 3 bases and you have a couple spare orbital commands, you don't really need so many SCVs. Only for gas mining. I'm trying to dump minerals, build more Marines, whatever I can, but yeah, my income's just ridiculous right now. And I'm also at max supply, but I could still lose this game by walking my units into a bed of tanks. It's so tedious. It doesn't matter if you drop either, so you can try to catch them out of position, just lose them. I hate this matchup more than anything. But to continue your upgrades, like I think what are my Vikings? 0-1, Marines are 3-3, tanks are 0-1. So many Vikings, and even though they're upgraded, I don't think upgrades matter too much when it comes to Viking versus Viking because the sheer numbers. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a pro gamer, but yeah. See, point defense drone again came in handy because I was getting hit by both sides. One with a battle cruiser, the other side with a bunch of Vikings. But my 6 Vikings survived. I believe by now, let's see, what are my Vikings? Let's
Upgrade complete.
Ready to plunder. This better be good.
Upgrade.
I think the main thing with this game, because we both had such a heavy production of tanks and Vikings, all I could do was starve my opponent. I mean, I couldn't just walk into his base because there's so many tanks. By the time my tanks sieged up, they would be shot down. And yeah, I could try to drop around the back, but I'd already scanned his base and he's covered in missile turrets. Except for the front. Well, I can't get through the front of his base anyway. And again, I'm scanning around the base. I mean, around the map, just checking for any hidden expansions. Really don't know what... I didn't know what to do, really, at this point in the game. I couldn't get in without losing half my army. Yeah, my Vikings are 1-2, his are 0-1, and we're still getting mowed down. Overall, it was a good game, though. I got to actually perform the opener that I had been practicing on the ladder, and it worked out, so that's always great. Even though I was obviously way behind.
Ready to plunder.
Man, I'm loving these mules.
This better be good.
Getting pretty tired at this point in the game. I don't mean to BM people, but if it's 36 minutes in the game and you haven't been able to leave off your 3 bases, it's pretty, your chances of winning are pretty slim. Yeah, but anyway, it was a good game. It's a good build order. Just check the description. I'll put links to it. And if anybody wants to like practice any TVT or whatever, just message me on YouTube. Thanks for watching.